Welcome to our business track. This video will be most useful for young data professionals who are trying to choose their own path within the wide range of specializations inside of the data science field. Julia Khan, Vice President of Analytics at SEMrush, is going to show you some hidden opportunities in business analytics. She will compare business analyst and data scientist roles in terms of soft skills you'll likely gain while working as a business analyst and how these skills may help you to build your own startup in the future.
Hello, my name is Julia. I'm Vice President of Analytics at SEMrush, and today I'm going to tell you something about choosing your career path and choosing between wide range of specializations within data science field that's supposed to work with the data. And my speech will be the most useful for the ones who are just at the beginning of their career and trying to specify the field they want to work in. And from my experience, the most common and the hardest choices newbies are faced with is a choice between being business analyst or being data scientist. And there is some pros and contrasts and some myths behind each career path. And usually when we are thinking about data science, plenty of complicated things comes to mind. Data scientist is supposed to be a good statistician, a good programmer as well. And data scientists, they are always working with cutting-edge technologies and algorithms. And they're using machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision, and for sure they do always train their neural networks on really big data sets with the terabytes of data. So at a first glance, that data scientist sounds like a really hot and sexy job. And what we're thinking when we're thinking about business analytics. Business analyst is just a boring guy with Excel spreadsheets and linear regression, and that's it. And business analyst, it's not about parallel computing, it's not about clusters, it's not about servers. And seems like a bit old-fashioned career path and definitely not so exciting like a data scientist one. And when it comes to salary standpoint, it also seems like data scientists making much more money than business analysts. And just a brief Google search returns us like really pleasant numbers when it comes to data science. And data scientists are definitely paid higher than business analysts. And what's more important for today, like this job will likely keep you safe in uncertain times and likely secure you from potential future unemployments and layoffs, because there is still a great shortage of high-skilled professionals in data science field, both in USA and abroad. So at a first glance, the choice seems obvious, right? You have to choose data science over business analytics. But here, like, I kindly ask you to make a stop and think twice. And the main trick here is to think few steps ahead and ask yourself where you want to be, not in 5 years, but in 10 years. And try to answer a question. Do you want to launch your own startup or maybe stick to management roles within a company? And your today's choice will have a great impact on where you will end up in 10 years and what soft skills you will gain and how these soft skills will help you to launch your own startup in the future. And from my opinion, like, the answer could be surprising, but if you want to start your own business, the greatest choice, the best choice will be the business analytics field. And here is some reasons why. The first reason, for my opinion, is by doing business analytics, you will likely develop a helicopter view instead of narrow specializations. Because the main difference between data science and business analytics, for my opinion, it's not about tools and models you are using, and it's not about programming language. And it's not about parallel computing and running multiple clusters on multiple servers. No. The main difference is about the field you are applying your knowledge into. And data scientist will be focused on a narrow problems such as fraud detection, for example, or product recommendation systems or whatever. And data scientist who wants to reach excellence in their models, and he's constantly fine-tuning them and trying to make them as perfect as possible. And the tricky thing is that you likely will face a lot of controversial and questionable return on investment when it comes to data science projects. And you likely will hear like sad and scary stories about entire teams doing data science project for a year and it never went to production. And it's not because of insufficient results or poor quality. This is because of poorly defined priorities and wrong paths chosen. And here comes the most interesting thing, because guess who's making recommendations concerning priorities? That's a business analyst. And the main thing about the business analytics, it's all about questions, it's all about hypotheses, and it's all about making recommendations and bearing a responsibility. And as a business analyst, you will be asked a lot of tough questions that likely will encompass all areas of business. And from a really abstract questions, for example, like what should we do to maximize revenue next year, to a more narrow and tactical questions, for example, how could we change our sales commission to maximize revenue but still stay competitive on a job market? Or, for example, what teams are making the biggest impact on lifetime value growth, and how quickly can we scale them? So basically, business analytics, it's all about solving real problems and answering real questions. And as a business analyst, you will gain incredible experience in solving these problems with the data. And you'll gain a deep understanding of entire business, of all business processes, of revenue streams, opportunities and threats behind each business decision. And you will learn from your mistakes and from real life how costly they could be. And yes, you likely won't use natural processing or machine learning algorithms to find an answer. That's true. And sometimes you will have to make it as simple as possible, and in most cases, linear regression will do the trick, yes. But you will learn something much more important than proficiency in algorithms. You will learn how to think twice before making a recommendation and how to bear a responsibility. And because there is always some jobs behind the decision you will recommend to make, and in most cases there is a huge amount of money at stake. So this is the second reason why I'd rather recommend to choose business analytics over data science. And the most important, and maybe not most important, but really also important reasons, and it's all about soft skills. The third reason is you likely will be working with the real stakeholders from all management levels, from middle managers to C-level executives. And like sad but true, you likely will have a hard time explaining to stakeholder why this team, for example, should be fired because of insufficient performance, or why we need to change our marketing strategy next year. And this is the best opportunity, the best option to develop soft skills you will need to run a startup in the future, because you will learn from your mistakes and soon get out of all your college illusions concerning data. And you will quickly learn the difference between data-driven and data-informed decision. And once you will become a more experienced business analyst, you really will stop to blame the ones who's following their gut feeling instead of numbers. That's a little bit surprising, but this is the most interesting things about being a business analyst. And in my case, for example, like the greatest insight was just realizing that data and numbers, they cannot speak for themselves unless you will not explain them and become the good storyteller. And working with the decision makers will help you to gain a priceless knowledge about how decisions are made in real life. And compare it with data science projects. In a data science field, you will not face with so many conflicting interests. You will not face with so many different points of view at the same time. And really, this knowledge will be extremely helpful if you are thinking maybe about a B2B startup, and if you want to sell something to organizations, no matter small business or medium or enterprise. And the last but not least, I want to talk about some myths behind the methods and tools you will use as a business analyst. Briefly, it is not only about Excel files. Yes, you should be as simple as possible, and you should be as clear as possible being business analyst, but also, from my opinion and from my experience, you will have an opportunity to use machine learning algorithms if you want to. And sure, this will depend on overall company digital maturity, but sometimes data is well stored, well cleaned, and sometimes data could be easily retrieved and used for your purposes. Sometimes it is not. But as a rule of thumb here, like the larger amount of revenue comes from online transactions, the more easily it will be for you to embed machine learning algorithms in your daily routine as a business analyst. So pretty much that's it. I think now you understand and now you know a little bit more about the things you should take into consideration choosing between data analyst and data scientist jobs. So thank you and good luck.
That was a presentation by Julia Khan, Vice President of Analytics at SEMrush, who compared business analyst and data scientist roles. If you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe to our channel to see more presentations just like this one.